welcome to the forefront of digital transformation. In today's video, we're unraveling the dynamic synergy between artificial intelligence and social media marketing. Get ready to explore the game-changing strategies that are reshaping the marketing landscape, propelling businesses into a new era of innovation and connection. Join us on this journey as we uncover the unparalleled impact of AI on personalized marketing, analytics, and the future of engaging with your audience. Let's dive into it.
And welcome to Content Creators Connect, where here we're all about encouraging the 3 C's. Connecting with your audience via video. And what's that number 2? You know what it is. It's content development that builds your personal brand and creators sharing their experience despite their distance.
And the C3 team member leading this evening is this guy right on over here, Manny, also known as Coach Manny. He is coaching us up in the world of social media marketing, as well as pursuing his passion for streaming true crime.
Thank you so much. I got a quick question for you guys before we dive into it. How do you see AI, that artificial intelligence stuff? How do you see that stuff influencing the personalization of content in social media marketing? And while we're at it, what benefits do you think this brings to businesses in terms of customer engagement? Kevin, we'll start with you. What do you think?
Well, I think it's going to be a challenge for a lot of people because the AI sounds so robotic to start out. So, as we've discussed before, we have to let the AI learn who you are. So it sort of understands and how you actually speak, sort of thing. But in terms of benefits, I see tons of benefits because it's able to respond to those repetitive questions over and over from your clients, from your customers about your content that you can sort of redirect them into either whether it be a sales funnel or even if you have a bot set up on like a website, for instance, to be able to provide responses, but it sounds like you, not like an artificial intelligence. So I'm very curious to what you have to present tonight. So what about you, Dory? What do you see as benefits and how AI influences the personalization of content?
I think you and I are very much in the same frame of mind regarding AI having a robotic voice versus maybe showcasing a little bit of our personality. And I truly believe that with training, AI definitely has the ability to learn our, I'm going to call it voice, and begin to craft material that will have our unique identifiers on it. For example, I call my audience peeps. And what I have noticed is through inputting information into ChatGPT and having it generate prompts for me, I have noticed that the more I use it, the more it starts using terminology that I give it, like the word peeps, which I absolutely love. As for marketing, I think that we are actually already seeing that the materials that are placed in front of us, especially like on social media or when we're browsing the internet, I think that they're being tailored to us and to our search history already. And I truly believe that AI is like definitely behind the scenes involved in this process. So from a content creator's perspective, I think that it's helping us shape content that is personality aligned with us. And from a marketing standpoint, AI is being used to put material in front of us that we are already expending energy on. So I'm also really excited to hear what you have to share specifically about marketing tonight, because that is not one of my strong suits. So if you out there in YouTube and Facebook land, if this is the type of content that you would like to see more of, please consider hitting that subscribe button and the notification bell. That way you get notified whenever we go live.
Thank you so much for your input on that question, because here is the truth about this whole thing. Now, artificial intelligence in social media marketing, it's not necessarily new. It's been a part of our lives for a long time. What is new is how much us content creators can use this AI now in our own stuff instead of always having to buy all the third party stuff where, for example, messenger marketing. Messenger marketing's not new, right? What is new is all the ways that you can get your answers, your responses, your prompts. Best way to put it I know of. So when we think about artificial intelligence, yes, you guys are so right. It could be it could be scary in some ways. But here's what I've learned. And a good buddy of mine is constantly reminding me how, like, I truly believe what we are witnessing with this AI for content creators and this AI, this chat GPT and all these things like that. His mind is it's just like the internet all over again, where it started really becoming a household product, right? Where everyone had this thing. Well, for marketers, for businesses, I'm not too sure you really have many options for making things happen that much quicker, for coming up with content ideas. And so here's what my goal is over the next 15 minutes. I want to help you understand all the different ways that you can use AI in your social media marketing and in your social media strategies itself. Okay, so I'm gonna dive over here. I'm gonna share with you with my screen here. Let's see, there we go. And let's see how there we go. Okay, this is what we're discussing today: artificial intelligence in your social media marketing. Now, when you think about these things, I'm going to be completely honest with you. There's some pros and cons to this. Though, for example, Google's been using AI for over a decade, right? It's been a part of how we believe our phones are listening to us, right? It's been part of all the search engine stuff that we've been doing. Why don't you Google that? Let me Google that. Let me Google that, because it gives us all the answers we need. So artificial intelligence in general is not new. Again, what I find that is more fairly on the newer side is all that's available to us to come up with these content ideas. So when you're thinking about what is out there, well, there's a lot of different social media strategies. There's, you can create engaging content as one of your goals, right? You can explore, paid social ads and use artificial intelligence for coming up with that. Facebook, Google ads, those are they already use artificial intelligence to help you come up with your audience, to help you target the right people, right? It's using previous buying habits of people. It's using AI to collect all the data to help give you the right stuff that you may be interested in when you do those type of things. Creating personalized content, as they were talking about, as Kevin and Dory were both sharing about having that these things are coming around your voice and the way you speak. That's one thing that we have learned about Chat GPT, is that after a while it understands you. It's almost like your own Johnny number 5. It starts learning who you are. And so when you think about that, let's take, for example, manychat.com, MANY chat.com. It's a messenger marketing platform. I'm going to dive over there real quick just to show something. I'm going to stop the share here, and then I'm going to share that screen real quick here. Okay, that looks good there. Is that it? Yeah. So let's take, for example, this is a messenger marketing platform. It's great for basically to help your engagement, and you're basically using a bot, for example, to communicate with your audience. But here's the thing, is that you're creating a bunch of prompts. What do you want it to do next when the audience does this particular action? So it's all based on action, prompts, movement. What do you want it to do next? So I love to use ManyChat.com as an example because around 2016, 2017, to me, messenger marketing was becoming a big deal. Messenger marketing, and maybe you know what that is. Basically, if you ever went to, say, a Facebook page and you had something that popped up asking you a question, that could be manychat.com, or it could be a basic same type of software. But it's a bot already talking for you. It's getting your client engaged with your company. So basically, they don't have to wait for a response. They're getting a response right away, middle of the night, while you're sleeping. So when you go back and to think about when this place started, the logo didn't even look like that. But when this manychat.com started, and to me, it was one of the leaders in messenger marketing at that time. That was all AI driven. There was no chat GPT when that came out. Maybe it was, low key in the works or something. I don't know. But the writing was on the wall that AI was going to become a bigger deal over the next few years. Lo and behold, it became outrageously big when chat GPT. And let me tell you something about this. I'm going to stop this screen share. I just kind of wanted to share that with you, to share with you how, this is not necessarily so much new as it is. Let's see, there we go. As it is for what we're using it for now. It's just a whole other level of access we get to this. And so when you're thinking about all of this and you're thinking, okay, AI for my social media, look at all these different strategies that you can use AI for to help you identify your audience, to help you, optimize your profile. What should it look like, to come up with your thumbnails? You can say, hey, with the right prompts, you can use it for YouTube thumbnails, and it will tell you what you can do, the colors to use, the image to put there, the different things to put on there. Think about that. Okay. So when it comes to your social media strategies, you can use AI in so many different ways. When you're thinking about, is this analytics, are these numbers good? Well, go back there and ask it, what are some good numbers that I need to be shooting for? Because here's the thing, that what do you think you're getting when you do a search or prompt in chat GPT? You're getting years and years and years and years of results that is already online. They're not rehashing anything. They're helping you find stuff sooner. But there comes some pros and cons with this, and I want to make sure that I dive into it. Now, you can obviously, screenshot this to give you to help you, but there are some pros when it comes to this, and there are some cons to this. So when you think about all that, it's like, what can I use this for? Okay, I just showed you all the different strategies that you can dive into. But what about enhancing the personalization around artificial intelligence with it? Because here's the truth, this will help you make your marketing that more personal. Okay, just how Dory and Kevin was sharing about having your voice. It's going to help you by doing a deep dive into the data that's already out there. Remember that. The data's already out there. It's going to help you by doing a deep dive itself into that data to help you understand what your prospective people would like, how they behave, and what interests them. Think about that. Okay? Before, we had to pay the money for the research. We had to pay for all the data driven stuff. But now you can actually go and find this. I was doing a little training for a roofing company. And in that, I said, I can't remember my exact search at that moment, but I did it with all of them there. And I said, some fun facts about roofing that I can share with my audience. And I asked for like 20 of them. And the first one alone had everyone in the room talking. That's a great topic to talk about. And it went way back to like, I don't even know what year, basically when roofing began and how they what they were using. It got everyone right there in that room engaged with that topic, and they were all talking about it and even throwing like, "Oh man, really? Wow." So think about that for a second. If I was able to do a quick prompt, I'm not a roofer, and I can get all these roofers in there like, wow, that's a great topic. That's something I want to talk about. That's the power of AI. It did the deep dive. It told me the content that I can share with my clients every week. They'll give me an idea of maybe what they want to talk about. I'll go and I'll say, give me so many ideas, and then I'll find the best ones that would be good. And then I'll send it to them and say, which one you want to talk about? Which title do you want to run with? You see, it's helping you by enhancing the personalization behind this with your end user. And so it's going to use all that data to help you understand the individuals like, how they behave, and their interests. That's going to help you to deliver that tailored experience that each of them can understand. They can relate to, because it's them. You're talking to them. What about time efficiency? That's one of the greatest things that I love about this stuff. Now, the AI, the chat GPT, the different sources, Canva. You hear about all the different things we train on this channel on Canva alone. But look at how quickly, right? I was able to go back to a video, which I'll share with you at the end here, that Dory did to help me with the training when I was trying to remember how to do something because I hadn't done it yet. And so I was able to go back to that training that Dory did, and I didn't have to watch it from beginning to end. I was able to quickly move to that right area to help me, and I didn't have to spend a bunch of time. Again, the training is there, but look at how easy of this stuff. So when you think about all the repetitive marketing tasks that can easily take up all of your time, right? We know about that firsthand. Well, now with AI, this will improve the time efficiency around that, like creating content, optimizing your campaigns, all of those things. But when you have all this, it helps you free up some of your focus on all that strategic stuff. All right, to help you really move forward. And now you can come up with things, content ideas, blog posts, video ideas. You could come up with scripts. You could come up with images. You could come up with images. Okay. What about all the data insights we talked about? Think about all the AI algorithms that are already out there. Okay. It's already out there. What AI is going to do for you is going to go through that so fast and give you what's relevant based on what you asked for. And so that way it can give you those little pieces of nuggets that you can actually hold on to. Okay. What's this going to do? This is going to add some fuel to your marketing strategy. And even with all this data stuff, it's going to help you get there. You know what? This is something we should run with. You know what? This is not something we should run with. Okay. It's going to help you collaborate better with your team as well. Okay. Think about the people you're targeting. That's what's great about it. It's going to do the heavy lifting for you. Okay. I think this is key on that. All right. If you want to reach the right people at the right time with the right messages, guess what? AI can help you target those right people and segment them into the right area. Because truth is, if you have an email list, you don't just have one, hey, all my people go under here. No, right? You got people that have not bought from you that's a different email list. Now that they've bought from you, that's a different email list. You're not going to target everyone the same way. Maybe you have one master list, but you still got to segment them into each one. So if you run a campaign and you get leads out of this campaign, you're probably going to want to have them in their own segmented way, right? So think about that. And think about the customer experience that you can provide. I was talking about ManyChat.com, right? The chat bots. That's one of the easiest ways that you can use the AI powered chatbots as a virtual assistant or along with a virtual assistant, where it's going to provide instant and personalized customer support. Okay, let's be real. If you're in the customer service industry, what is one thing that people want right away? Boom, I want a reply. I don't want to wait. I need an answer. Okay, you're going to win over your competition if you can be that quick about it. Okay, I think that it's extremely important because truth is, your customer, they want to feel important. This will help you help them feel important. This is almost like giving them VIP treatment. You matter to us. All right, so think about that. Well, we talked about some pros. Let's be real, this is still in the early phase. What comes with early phase? A lot of early mistakes. So these are key things because there are some cons to this. Okay, you really have to think about some of this, the ethical part behind this. All right, now we're having this stuff right for us for the most part. Okay, so this also brings, like, now the end user, they're going to start questioning, is this real or is this cookie cutter stuff? Did they go to the bots to get answers? So you have to think about that. There are some ethical considerations like data privacy, okay? Like transparency, right? Or when it comes to decision making, right? If you're looking at where you're getting you're deciding on something and you want to know, where am I getting this? Is this a potential, for bias in this decision making that you guys are doing? This is important, right? This could open up some other red flags. So you have to keep in mind that you can't just copy and paste. We've talked about it. You've heard Dory talk about it. You've heard Kevin talk about it. And so you think about that this is key. All right. So when you're thinking about how you're going to navigate this, remember, these are still challenges and you are responsible for what you put out there. All right. Because it is your name. And so when you are putting out there, you got to do it as responsible as you possibly can and be as transparent as you possibly can. What about the cost and accessibility? Well, that is a little bit of a con because think about this. Right now, the open AI, it's free. But if you notice, if you've been on it for a little while, now you're getting prompted to upgrade, upgrade, upgrade. Can't do that. Upgrade. Can't do that. Upgrade. Right? It's free for now, but the paywalls are continuing to come. That Opus that we did a training on, right? Opus AI. When we did those Opus clips, when I first dove into it, you were getting the free minutes without a watermark. And then you were getting the free minutes with a watermark. Okay. So still major value when you're coming to test stuff. And truth is, what's a big deal with the watermark if you're just using it just for testing purposes, right? To see, is there going to be any traction? Is it worth it? But there's so much out there that now you got to question, what do I want to put my money into? I've clicked on how much a couple times this week, right? On some different things that I use to upgrade. I'm like, all right, and then I still got to second guess myself because this can get pricey. So for small businesses with limited resources, there is a cost when you want the best of the best. Like if you want ChatGPT 4.0 right now, you got to upgrade to get that. Otherwise, you can still get the 3.5. Okay, so it's you're still getting it, but if you want the bells and whistles, there is a cost for that. But here's also the truth: as this is a growing, little, because this is trending, right? It's still growing. What's going to happen? You're going to also have competition come. And right now, they're probably, for the most part, using ChatGPT. Look at Google Bard, right? I think they changed their name to Gemini or something. I can't remember right now, but it's no longer Google Bard. And some people love it, but I really haven't heard much on it, to be completely honest with you. But I'm sure that Google is not going to stop fighting to be number one at that as well. But again, I'm not going to play like I'm some AI expert. So let me watch how I come out here. I just want to focus on the social media marketing. But here's another con of this stuff: over reliance, putting too much emphasis into it. Lawyers have already been sued for putting too much emphasis into it, right? So you got to think about it. Though AI is great, you do not want to put too much emphasis onto all those algorithms, because at the end of the day, as humans, we are born to be creative. Don't let it do all the creative stuff for you. You are meant to be creative. Find your creativeness, but use it to help enhance that creativity. So it's key that you understand AI is a great tool tool. Okay, you as the human have to still use those, what you have, to be creative. And so there's going to be a little balance between both, and I think that it's key that you understand that. But data security concerns, as I shared with you, if you're handling customer stuff, you have to think about that, because a lot of this is, we want to grab our customers' attention, our clients' attention. See, our end user, they have a problem. We, the experts, want to help solve that problem, right? And so when you're thinking of, I want to come up with content to help attract them to us by solving problems, you got to also understand that this comes with some security risks, okay? So it's key that you be extra careful with anything that has to do with customer data. And with all these marketing systems that are coming and going, we have to be careful where we're putting our clients into these databases. All right. So think about who you are working with, okay? And understand something. And this can be a con when you're using this for your social media marketing, but there is a learning curve with this. Think about that, okay? This is key in this factor, all right? So no matter what you're going to adopt into your stuff, into your plan, into your goals, just remember that there is going to be a learning curve if you're new to it. And here's what I've learned. Though there's a learning curve, social media marketing has always been a scary aspect for businesses. For many of them, they don't know where to begin, they don't know what to do. But what I have found is, and this is because ChatGPT is the talk of the town, is even people who they're not tech savvy, they're not computer literate, they're still hearing and testing and checking out this ChatGPT. And some are like, I live on this thing, and some are saying, I'm hearing it, I know I got to check into it if I'm wanting to create content. All right, few more minutes, my friends, and then we'll be wrapping this up. But as we're moving forward, and this is why you want to make sure you subscribe to this channel if you are new to our channel, because we are always all about content creation. But let's talk about content creation in this crazy age of AI. All right. You got, when you think about a big portion of all of this, all right, what is the purpose of content? What is the purpose of content generation? What is the purpose of social media marketing in general? It's all about creating interest and engaging content. The videos, the live content, the short form content, the blog posts, the social media posts. What's our purpose? Even people who don't even use it for business, they use social media a lot for what? They like attention, right? Social media is attention grabbing. Some people like it for drama. Some people like it because they want eyeballs on them. But as a business owner, they make sense for business, right? Because what are we always trying to do? Get new eyeballs on our stuff. New eyeballs means more potential clients, customers, whatever your end user is. So when you're thinking about the content generation part, you got to understand that through this whole process, yeah, you can create articles now. You can create your YouTube descriptions as you've learned on this channel. You can create your blog posts. You can have it do so much for you. All right. So use it to create your content. Use it for your Facebook post, your Instagram post. You got a product you're sharing. Guess what? This can help you come up with the description for that product. Think about that. All right. So I think that those are key things. What about personalization and customization? Well, by analyzing all that data, as we talked about, check it, browsing their behaviors, what makes them tick, what makes them upset, what do they like, what makes them buy. You can ask AI to do that. You can ask AI about past interactions in a particular segment, and you can do your particular demographics that you are targeting. That's what's great about this, because artificial intelligence, it can tailor your content to those individuals' preferences. That's what's great about this stuff. And so it helps us marketers, which if you are trying to promote your business, you're a marketer, right? You're a marketer. If you're business networking, if you're out there networking and you do nothing on social media, guess what, my friends? You're still a marketer. You are the face of the company. You're out there. So think about that. And so I think that it's key that you understand that it's going to help you. That level of personalization, it's going to help you, again, us marketers, that we're going to create that targeted and relevant content that we know our audience wants to see, that we know this relates to our audience that we're talking to. And what is that going to be after you start warming them up and they're liking you? They're going to engage with your content. Then what's that going to do? It's going to help you build that stronger connection. I think that is extremely important. And so when you're thinking about optimizing, okay, I showed you this on this exact channel about when we're optimizing our YouTube video, right? I'm asking it to come up with titles. Okay, now that I picked my title, I'm asking it to come up with a description that people would include in the that it would include these particular keywords that I want to target. And so when you're thinking about all the AI algorithms and what it can do, well, again, analyzes the user behavior, as I've just shared, the engagement, what's going to help get engagement. You can go to ChatGPT and say, write me 50 different engaging posts that I can share on Facebook. It's going to give you a bunch of the things that it knows it's created engagement in the past, and it's likely to do it for you. Okay. So I think that it's key in this. All right. You want to identify different patterns and trends that are going on in your industry. This will do it. And so I think that it's key that you understand, as the marketer that you are, that you understand what content performs best and where, what topics, what perform best, what formats perform best with your audience. Okay. And you get to use this to optimize your content strategy for maximum impact. This is how AI is changing all of this. All right. So when you think about it, what are some of the examples? If you've been following our channel, it's a no brainer. What do we talk about? I already said it. Canva. This is great for image editing, video editing, creating caricatures, creating AI images. The pro account, of course. So I mean, if you use Adobe Photoshop, it uses AI in this in the video and image editing part of it, right? So I think that it's important that you understand, like, hey, you've already been using AI. Now you're getting a better understanding. With this video, what I'm hoping is that you understand the deeper dive you can do to find what people are needing. And so what other things are you using? Well, image creation, AI technologies. It's helping you take a whole deeper dive into creating images that look real. If you don't believe me, check out the video that Kevin did last week, blowing our minds. Did you see the dogs that he shared? It was like, is it real or is it not? Okay, think about that. Which, when you create it, now it's your content. You're not stealing, or you're not paying for images. He shared with you last week on how you can save so much money with everything that, because of AI, basically. And so when you're thinking about creating images, when you're thinking about creating videos, I think that it's important. Now, think about the social media management platforms, right? And what it's using: AI. How do you think you're scheduling your content with AI? When it's optimizing the posting times, when YouTube tells me the best time for you to post is this, it's using AI. When ChatGPT tells me use these hashtags in your description, that's AI, right? These are AI. And so when you think about Hootsuite, that's a scheduling platform. That's AI. Buffer, another scheduling post platform. That's AI. So you think about all these social media management platforms that are already doing it. All right. So I think that it's extremely important that we understand. And with AI, it's already in a lot of the SEO optimization tools. I talked about, Google's Bard AI, which is now Gemini, I believe, AI. What was it? What was the purpose of this? The purpose was to generate search results to match users' search query, right? And so it wanted to go back years, which is the, you know, if you stop and you think about, people also ask. You've seen that for years on Google, right? It's using data driven. Okay. Now, what it's doing now with this Bard is trying to be like ChatGPT or some scenario. Again, I'm not trying to step outside of my lane. I'm still figuring out a little bit of that stuff too. But you can leverage AI for your ads when it comes to the targeting, when it comes to, the demographics and who's more likely. And so think about the different type of ads that you can use in here. Okay, Facebook has dynamic ads. I think that those are great things, and Google has dynamic ads. And so when you're thinking about that, it's going to help you personalize these digital ads that automatically adapt and display the relevant content for the people that are searching. So in the past, you had to be that much knowledgeable. Now, with a little more research, you don't even have to be an expert. You do not have to be an expert to find your target audience. You don't have to pay other companies anymore to do this stuff unless you just don't have time. That's a different story. But obviously, if you're tuning into to our content, you're learning how to do stuff on your own, right? And so when you're thinking about Google and dynamic ads, what's the purpose of it? It's to create something that's tailored and engaging to every user that comes across that, right? That hopefully they take action, click on that button, go into that landing page, just as Kevin was talking about earlier when you're creating that capture page. And so it's helping you do the heavy lifting. You, the human, again, you have to be creative. All right. So when you think about Facebook and Instagram, it's one of the best at using these dynamic ads because it's going to help you. All right. It's going to help you with retargeting. Why do you think retargeting ads are so important in a strategy when it comes to your ads? Well, when you're retargeting, now you're using the Facebook or Google, whatever, when you're retargeting, they already used AI to find the right people that you're going to retarget, right? It's going based on what the action they took previously. You're going to retarget the people that, hey, you're more likely to do something, and I'm hoping you do something now. So when you retarget, I think that is critical that you understand that, hey, this person has added this to the shopping cart, but they didn't take action. All right. Now let's get them before they abandon that shopping cart. And so that's why it's key that you understand who you are talking to. But let's think about where this stuff is going, right? As I stop my share and close this out, I want to talk about where this is looking to be going, because here's the truth. This is only going to get better. Advancements in artificial intelligence are going to continue. And here's the truth. It will impact advertising. And so you got to think about that. And as I shared earlier, there are going to be some ethical considerations, and you are responsible for what you're putting out there. So you got to be careful. Look at the hit that Google has recently took, right? They're in the news because of what their AI bot is not responding to and not saying. So you have to think they're under fire, as I would say, because of, I don't know, the insides to say why it's not given the responses that people believe it should respond to. But again, you are responsible for what you put out there and what you're sharing. Because here's the truth, AI is going to become more prevalent in marketing. And so it's important to address those ethical concerns about data privacy, transparency, all those things that can cause you problems. All right. So it's key that you understand that. But think about all the other things that are starting to really make its way in a deeper impact. Virtual reality. I mean, there was some goggles that were over $1,000 or something. Didn't go over too well, but you know how that goes when you're trying to be first to the punch. It doesn't always go too great, right? Augmented reality. Think about that, And so you look at all this voice searching we can easily do anymore. You got to think about all these emerging technologies and what it's going to be like for your industry, whatever part of the industry that you're in. And so you got to really think about that stuff. AI, it's definitely transforming the way we are doing stuff, our social media strategies, the social media marketing, what we're coming up with, what we're putting out there. But here's the truth. Here is the truth. It's helping marketers be more powerful in getting stuff done. And so you got to think about that. So for you, you got to explore what can AI do for you in content creation. If it's one thing I am a firm believer in, if you are a content creator, is why would you not be using AI to come up with all the ideas? Who wants the headache of spending 30 minutes, an hour, 2 hours? I used to spend 2 hours on a Sunday to come up with content ideas. I don't have to spend 2 hours anymore doing that stuff, right? I might have to spend, on a weekly basis, like say right after this one, I'll throw this up there. I'll make this into shorts. I'll schedule it out. It won't take me 2 hours, my friends. And I'm going to have content coming up all week long. And it's going to take me less than 15 minutes. That's the power of AI. That's the power of AI and social media marketing. And that's how you can use AI to come up with all the different strategies around social media marketing. So, my question to you is, are you going to use AI a little more when it comes to whether it's coming up with ideas, data that you're trying to do research on? I recently used it for I'm like, what can I talk around about this particular subject? And generally, number one is always great, but sometimes you got to go down the list and be like, this is more. It sounds like me, right? This is more I can talk about this without even freaking prepping notes, which is kind of what I did with this. But at the end of the day, so at the end of the day, truth is there this you see it on our channel all the time. We are a true believer on how simple this was. And Dory made my heart cry last week when she was like, I am finally on the short form content train, because I've always been a big believer in it. And I think with these tools, it's made it more fun, more simple, and makes you look like a freaking pro. And you don't, and we're new at this little tool, right? So at the end of the day, find what works for you, my friends. Don't just settle on one thing. Do some deep dive, talk to people, ask questions, find your tribe of people that you can click with, that you can grow with, right? I'm learning a whole new side gig in real estate. And what am I doing? I'm using AI in this whole new realm in real estate. Because here's the truth, I have real estate clients. So for me to be most effective, I always have to have my pulse on what's trending and dive deep into it. And that's why I'm picking Dory's brain on something like, hey, the sooner you can learn, the sooner I can learn, so that I can be more effective for my clients. It's a unified team effort to help bring you the best content that we can possibly do, because what we're learning, we're putting to use, and then we turn around and teach you because we are doing the do. So that's what I have for you, my friends, today, and thank you for all your attention. Let me ask you guys, what was your biggest takeaway? Now here, before you even respond, I know that you guys are almost the way you guys are pros at this stuff. There's no almost about it. So I know there wasn't probably a bunch of aha moments, but what was your biggest takeaway? Kevin, you first.
Well, as you said, it's probably not a big aha moment, but it was aha is like how much I'm using it already. It's ingrained as part of my daily workflow when creating content. Like, for instance, when you were talking about how AI has been around forever, it's like, well, yeah, it has. And how have I been using it? And I didn't really realize it, but a lot of the repetitive tasks. I've been using AI to create social posts for up to a month. And then as the days are coming up, I just go in and check and say, yeah, is it still relevant, and tweak it a little bit if I have to. But without having to do that, it's like half an hour each day creating a social post for the following day. But using AI to create stuff because I have themes for each day of the week. So to create that, to have it create visuals, to create the graphics, to create the actual post content, it's like, yeah, I'm using AI to create that and making it into my own voice. It's like, yeah, it's generating it, but yeah, I'll tweak this word, I'll add this hashtag, and yeah, definitely have to look at the content that you are putting out because it is your content and you are responsible for what's going out 100%. But a couple of things that sort of caught my eyes, like making tools available to the creators and saving money from third party apps. 100%. It's like, yeah, when it first came out, all these other companies that came around saying, hey, we can do this for you. Now it's in the hands of the creators. It's like you can actually do it yourself and make it a tailored experience for you and your clients. So I like that fact. Whereas you were actually reaching out to these third party apps and saying, how can I make them work for me? As opposed to creating it for your own clients. It's like you are adapting to their forms and their format and their platforms to suit your needs. So it's the other way around now. It's like, hey, you're the boss and you're going to work the way I want you to work. And another thing, personal research assistant, I absolutely love that. It's like, hey, you have that person who has all this years of experience, and all you're doing is typing in a few keyword prompts, and boom,
Hmm.
it's coming up with all this research for you. It's like, okay, now you don't have to go searching all over the internet to find out what's going on. So 100% a time saver, and being able to access that information. And if you ever do question something, it's like, boom, you can just go in quickly, take a look, and verify the integrity of that information as well, which you should be doing with your content anyway. So those were a couple of my key takeaways, but
That was
it was
awesome.
just more of a realization. It's like, yeah, it's sort of ingrained into my workflow already. So it's, yeah, I've been using it for quite a while, as a lot of the population now are just sort of coming on board to the whole AI trend. But it's like, yeah, being in the tech industry, I definitely do see where it's come from, and love where it's going as well. So, what about you, Dory? What was your biggest takeaway?
Well, before I talk about my biggest takeaway from Manny, I just want to reiterate something that you said in case people need to hear it a second time. You mentioned taking the content from AI, tweaking it, editing it, making sure that it is your voice that comes across. And for people that think, and I know that we have said this multiple times and it's worth repeating, AI does not replace you. It is meant to help you, which is going to segue into my takeaways from Manny. Like anything that can improve my time efficiency, I am all over that thing like crazy because my life is insane. And so, creating a situation where you can use AI to do like repetitive marketing tasks, like you mentioned, Manny, or, even helping with repurposing of content, which we've dove into with Opus and some other tools. Anything that makes my time more efficient and gives me more of an ROI on my time investment is definitely something that I want to learn more about. And you also mentioned something. I posted it as a comment. It is worth repeating. I started. I think this is one of the biggest, most succinct takeaways that anybody can gather from tonight, and that is to reach the right people at the right time with the right message. That was beautifully said. And I think that AI does have the capability of helping us with that, especially for those of us that have crazy, crazy lives. Um, Kevin mentioned about the personal assistant, and you mentioned having like the messenger bots. I've had messenger bots for several years now. I actually had a friend of mine who was a coder build me a custom messenger bot who had my own personality built into it. It had my Bitmojis that would respond to people. It was really, really fun. People would come to the Facebook page just to interact with her, just to see what kind of sarcastic, sassy things she would say in response to them. Um,
That's
but
classic.
it's super helpful because, like you said, sometimes people just want a quick answer to a question, and instead of waiting for you to be able to personally respond, the bot can help you. Now, the bot isn't creating these answers on its own from some magical answer fairy. It's information that you've expended energy putting into it. And I think that's another thing that people have to understand. What you get out of AI is what you put into it. If you invest the time in training the programs, then the programs will do the proper work for you. If you think it's a catch-all and a fix-all, then I'm sorry to break it to you, it's not. So, and that brings me to my last takeaway. Using AI to enhance you, to enhance your own creativity, is the best approach to implementing AI into your workflow. It is still just a tool. And no matter what, it's only going to help enhance you and what you are already developing. And so that was my biggest takeaway. And funny enough, is going to springboard perfectly into my topic for next week, which we'll be discussing in just a moment. I do want to give a shout out to Anna. She joined us tonight from work. She wasn't able to thoroughly engage with us because she's focused on her work. But she is listening and being supportive as always. So, Anna, we just want to say thank you again for hopping in with us.
Thank you.
But I
Thanks, Emma.
think at that point, we are ready to hop over to Manny to close this out for us tonight.
My friends, I want to share with you. I shared this earlier in the stream about a training that Dory did, and I want to highly recommend it. It's called From Pixel to Perfection, and here is why. You want to get fun on your streams? You want to share your own personality? Well, how about be creative by creating a beautiful image of yourself in a AI fashion? Well, Dory did a deep dive on how you can do that, and it helped me when I was looking to create my thumbnail to be consistent with the last two trainings that the team did. And so I was like, oh, I kind of forgot about that particular training. So thank you so much, Dory, because it was effortlessly helped me. And here is the truth. I still went back to my team and I said, here's what I got. And they even helped me enhance it higher. So reach out to us. We are glad to help you. And Lord knows, anytime I ask Dory a question, she goes a deep dive on that question alone because she is all about problem solving. So that's why I highly recommend check out episode number 69, From Pixel to Perfection, AI art avatar tools for streamers and creators, because at the end of the day, we also want to edutain our audience. That was streamed live on December 17th, 2023, just last year. So not long ago at all. Highly recommend that video, and someone will post that link below, so make sure you catch up. And if you're on like my channel and you don't see that link below, well, just ask. Otherwise, I'll try to remember to put that link in. Thank you, guys.
So, if you're enjoying the content like this and are finding it useful, we would love if you would like and subscribe. Sharing our content is a great way to spread the love. So, visit our website for information of all the ways that you can interact with us over at linktree/content creators connect. We are on Facebook, YouTube, and X. Also, drop down in the comments any topics or ideas that you would like us to do a deep dive on as well, because we want to see your sort of pain points and how we can help out and create some content for you in the future.
And with that, we would like to say thank you for joining Content Creators Connect, aka C3, tonight, as we saw Manny talk about how AI is revolutionizing social media marketing. We will return next Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern, where I will be discussing how AI influences and streamlines